I wrote a letter that got me in trouble. Somebody said, you're more enthusiastic about the Oblate Associates than about the Oblates. You have to change that letter. So no, around the world, you know, I use the image of my oldest brother. He had a garden. I always said it was the German garden. Everything was lined up in beautiful rows, you know, straight corners, and you know, everything according to height. It was really well organized. And my sister has a different style. It's like she throws seeds, and you have tomatoes mixed with corn and a few sunflowers popping up, and it's wild abandon. And in a sense, the Oblate family is like that. We have so many groups that are expressions of the creativity, the richness of the charism, that it's stunning. And they give enthusiasm to Oblates as well as, I mean, to myself, to see what they're doing. For example, in Senegal, Les Amis de Saint-Eugène, the Friends of St. Eugene. Little groups are in little villages, probably half Muslim, half Catholic. And the Friends of St. Eugene have taken on, in this one little village, maybe 800 people, more or less, the care for the sick. And they take care of, nobody has any money, very poor. They grow their own food, they're out there in the desert, the heat, no clinic. But the Friends of St. Eugene have some basic medical supplies, and they care for everybody in the village. And there's a beautiful relationship, a beautiful harmony between Muslims and Christians. It's just so beautiful. When we see, you know, in the newspaper, trying to, you know, stir up hatred between different religious people. So in Argentina, the Associates have like they had like a study group, you know, studying the charism, and Oblate was accompanying them. And then they happened to notice some people at church who never went to communion. And so, you know, they were going to ask them, what's the story? Would you like to make First Communion? Well, they were hearing impaired. And there was no program to help hearing impaired people learn the catechism, make First Communion, become confirmed. And Oblate Associates went to school to learn sign language so that they could prepare. And now it's a huge ministry. And the Oblate Associates go to other churches to sign the Mass, the liturgy. It's tremendous. In, of course, China, you have Oblate Associates coming from Australia to teach English to help the Chinese improve their education skills so that they can get a better job to support their families. They also help financially and through their presence in St. Teresa's Mission. I'm sure you've done stories on that. A nursery for children who are born with physical or mental challenges. They are cared for, they are rescued really from death and cared for in a nursery. And the Associates took me over there with an Oblate priest to pray over the children, to bless them. An extremely moving experience. In Aix, I will mention the heart of our congregation. In 2016, a group of young adults, about 23, 24, they put on a play in the cathedral at the end of the Mass on January 25th, 2016, the 200th anniversary of the congregation. The bishop celebrated the Mass, I was there, and after communion, this group of young people had an excellent play on Eugene, Tempier, Eugene's mother. It was beautiful, well done, simple but profound. And after that celebration, the same group of young people prepared food, and the general administration, we were about 11 of us went to Aix for the celebration. We had a day with the poor. I had asked for a holy hour with Jesus, a holy hour of prayer, and a holy hour with the poor. So the Aches community with these young adults had this day with the poor, and they had street people, homebound people, people who were suffering from addictions. They came to our house, and the general council and the poor ate together. We saw a film strip about St. Eugene together. We sang and we danced, and the young people served us. Well, after that, these young people said, well, this can't end now. What will we do? Well, I had a letter in September of that year during the chapter. Dear Father General, we young people of Aches would like to live the spirit of St. Eugene de Mazenod. And they formed a group called Les Mazenodiens, the Mazenodians. And I think there's 24, about 10 of them made a promise to live the Oblate charism. So they're on fire to help immigrants and refugees. They're helping the homebound, and they're visiting like people in these institutions suffering from addictions and other problems. So and that was just spontaneous. No oblate said, let's get together and do it. They wanted to continue to live in the spirit of St. Eugene. So they, they contaminate us with their joy and their enthusiasm, their zeal. I was in Tewksbury once here in the States, and the Oblate Associates, they said, let us begin with the prayer of perseverance written by St. Eugene. Well, they all knew it by heart. I had to say, where's my prayer book? Let me read the prayer with you. You just, there's deep love, deep reverence, deep respect for St. Eugene and our charism. And it certainly is, abounding all over the world, It's a beautiful thing.